Ali's first title fight. The lineal heavyweight champ is recognized by fans as the one true champion, the man who beat the man. The Ali era stands as one of the most action-packed stretches in heavyweight boxing. It begins with his first shot at the title. Muhammad Ali walked into the first fight with Sonny Liston as a 22-year-old challenger with a 19-0 record and an Olympic gold medal. Liston was the heavyweight champion and one of the most feared fighters in boxing. He had taken the title from Floyd Patterson with 2 first-round knockouts, and most observers expected another dominant performance. Many believed the fight would be short, with Liston's strength and experience overwhelming the younger contender. Fight week built unusual attention. At the weigh-in, Ali paced, shouted, and acted unpredictably,
float like a butterfly, sting like a bee,
creating one of the most talked-about pre-fight scenes of the era. The behavior added to the sense that the challenger was either trying to unsettle Liston or convince himself he belonged in the ring. The fight took place on February 25, 1964, at the Miami Beach Convention Hall in Florida. From the opening round, Ali relied on speed and movement, circling the ring and throwing quick jabs before stepping away. Liston tried to cut off the ring and land his jab, but Ali's footwork kept him from setting his feet for long stretches. Through the early rounds, the challenger landed fast combinations while avoiding extended exchanges. The fourth round brought a moment that nearly changed the outcome. Ali returned to his corner, complaining that his eyes were burning and that he could not see clearly. Later explanations pointed to ointment from Liston's corner getting into his eyes during clinches. For much of the round, he moved cautiously, backing away and trying to avoid clean shots while blinking repeatedly. By the next round, his vision improved, and he resumed throwing combinations. As the fight went on, Liston's pace slowed while Ali continued to move and land quick punches. At the end of the 6th round, Liston remained on his stool and told his corner he could not continue, citing a shoulder injury. When the bell rang for the 7th round, he did not leave the corner, and the referee ruled a technical knockout, giving Ali the heavyweight championship. The Exile break. After defeating Liston, Muhammad Ali stayed active and defended the heavyweight championship several times over the next 3 years. He stopped Floyd Patterson in Las Vegas in November 1965 after Patterson fought mostly in retreat. In March 1966, he met George Chuvalo in Toronto, winning a full 15-round decision against a fighter known for durability. 2 months later, he traveled to London and stopped Henry Cooper in their rematch, then closed the year with a dominant performance against Cleveland Williams in Houston, repeatedly landing straight right hands as Williams struggled to keep balance. In February 1967, Ali fought Ernie Terrell at the Astrodome in a bout to unify recognition of the championship. He won a clear 15-round decision, controlling the pace with jabs and combinations. His final fight before the interruption came on March 22, 1967, at Madison Square Garden, where he stopped Zora Fali in the 7th round. At that point, his professional record stood at 29-0. Just weeks later, events outside the ring halted his career. On April 28, 1967, Ali appeared at the Armed Forces Induction Center in Houston after being called for military service. When his name was announced, he refused to step forward. The decision brought immediate consequences. The New York State Athletic Commission suspended his license that same day, and other state commissions followed, preventing him from competing in heavyweight bouts. Sanctioning bodies soon treated the championship as vacant, and promoters began matching contenders against one another to establish a new title holder. The World Boxing Association organized a tournament, and its final brought Joe Frazier and Buster Mathis together, 2 heavyweights who already had history from the amateur ranks. Frazier fought the way he always did, closing distance, working the body, and forcing exchanges until Mathis slowed. In the 11th round, the referee stepped in to stop the fight, leaving Frazier with the victory. Ali and Frazier collide. When Muhammad Ali returned to boxing in October 1970, after more than 3 years away, Joe Frazier had already built momentum as the division's most active heavyweight. Since winning the tournament final in 1968, Frazier had stayed busy, stopping Jerry Quarry in 5 rounds and then facing Oscar Bonavena in a grueling 15-round fight in Philadelphia. In that bout, he was knocked down twice in the 2nd round before recovering and pressing forward to win a unanimous decision. By the time negotiations for a fight with Ali began, Frazier's record stood at 26-0 with 23 knockouts, and he had spent years defending his position while Ali was out of competition. Ali's return started with a third-round stoppage of Jerry Quarry in Atlanta, followed by a 15-round decision over Bonavina at Madison Square Garden in December 1970. Those fights put him back into contention quickly, and discussions for a meeting with Frazier moved forward. The bout was scheduled for March 8, 1971, at Madison Square Garden, drawing global attention as both fighters entered undefeated as professionals and each claimed the right to be considered champion. From the opening rounds, the difference in approach shaped the fight. Ali worked behind his jab, circling and throwing combinations before stepping away, while Frazier kept a low stance and moved forward, looking for openings to the body. Frazier's pressure forced Ali to fight at a faster pace than in many of his earlier bouts, and exchanges came more frequently as the rounds progressed. In the middle rounds, Ali found moments to land straight right hands and short combinations, but Frazier continued closing distance and working the midsection. His left hook remained the most dangerous punch in the fight, thrown whenever Ali paused or leaned back. The pace stayed steady into the later rounds, with both fighters trading bursts of offense while the crowd responded to each exchange. The decisive moment came in the 15th round. As Ali moved along the ropes, Frazier stepped in and landed a powerful left hook that sent him to the canvas. Ali rose quickly and finished the round, but the knockdown left a clear impression on the judges' scorecards. After 15 rounds, the decision was announced, and Frazier was awarded a unanimous victory. Joe Frazier handed Muhammad Ali his first professional loss and ruled the heavyweight division. Foreman arrives. Joe Frazier entered 1973 unbeaten at 29-0 and still holding the top spot in the heavyweight division after his decision win over Muhammad Ali. His next opponent was George Foreman, a younger challenger who had built his reputation on power and early stoppages. Foreman had turned professional after winning the Olympic gold medal in 1968 and quickly moved through the rankings with a series of knockouts, bringing a record of 37-0 with 34 stoppages into the fight. The bout took place in Kingston, Jamaica on January 22, 1973. From the opening round, Foreman's strength changed the usual rhythm of a Frazier fight. Instead of giving ground under pressure, he met Frazier in the center and pushed him upright, taking away the crouch that allowed Frazier to slip punches and work inside. Early in the round, a right hand sent Frazier to the canvas, setting the tone for the rest of the fight. Frazier rose quickly and tried to close distance, but Foreman continued throwing heavy shots, forcing exchanges at a pace that prevented Frazier from settling into his usual rhythm. Another right hand dropped him again before the round ended. Each time Frazier stood up, he attempted to move forward and re-establish pressure, but Foreman's punching kept him off balance. The second round continued the same pattern. Foreman landed right hands and uppercuts as Frazier tried to slip inside, and another knockdown came early. Moments later, Frazier went down again after a looping right hand, and the referee allowed the fight to continue. Foreman immediately stepped forward, forcing another exchange that sent Frazier to the canvas for the 6th time. As Frazier rose, his balance appeared unsteady, and referee Arthur Mercante stepped in to stop the fight. The stoppage came 2 minutes into the second round after Frazier had been knocked down 6 times. The referee waved it off, and George Foreman was the new heavyweight champion. Ali returns. George Foreman entered 1974 as the heavyweight champion with an unbeaten record and a reputation built on knockouts. After stopping Joe Frazier, he defended the title twice, first against Jose Roman and then Ken Norton, ending both fights quickly and reinforcing the sense that his power could overwhelm anyone in the division. The championship bout between Foreman and Ali was scheduled for October 30th, 1974, in Kinshasa, Zaire. The event took place outdoors in the early morning hours, so it could be broadcast in prime time in the United States. Foreman entered as the favorite, with most predictions focusing on whether Ali could withstand his punching power over the distance. In the opening round, Ali circled and landed quick right hands before moving toward the ropes. As the fight continued, he leaned back against them, covering up and letting Foreman throw wide punches to the body and arms. Foreman tried to keep a steady pace, pressing forward and forcing exchanges, but Ali answered in short bursts and tied him up when needed. The rhythm became a cycle of Foreman advancing and Ali responding with combinations before clinching. By the middle rounds, the pace began to change. Foreman's output slowed slightly as he continued to swing heavily, while Ali's timing sharpened. Straight right hands landed as Foreman stepped forward, and Ali mixed single punches with quick flurries before settling back to the ropes. The pattern repeated through rounds 6 and 7, with Foreman pushing the action and Ali choosing moments to respond. Late in the 8th round, Ali stepped off the ropes and threw a fast combination that snapped Foreman's head back. A right hand followed, sending Foreman to the canvas. He tried to rise but could not beat the count, ending the fight with a knockout at 2:58 of the round. Muhammad Ali regained the heavyweight championship. A new upset. After regaining the championship in Zaire, Muhammad Ali remained at the center of the heavyweight division through the late 1970s. He defended the title against Ken Norton in a close fight at Yankee Stadium in September 1976, a bout that went the full 15 rounds and drew heavy attention because of how evenly matched the two had been in earlier meetings. Ali continued fighting regularly despite the long years he had already spent in the ring, and in May 1977 he faced Alfredo Evangelista, winning a decision and then announcing his retirement while still holding the championship. The retirement proved short-lived. Less than a year later, Ali agreed to defend the title against Leon Spinks, a former Olympic gold medalist who had only 7 professional fights. The matchup drew curiosity because of the experience gap, with most expectations centered on whether Spinks could last the distance against a champion who had faced nearly every top contender of his era. They met on February 15, 1978 in Las Vegas, with Spinks entering as a clear underdog. From the opening rounds, Spinks fought with steady pressure, throwing combinations and forcing exchanges that kept the pace higher than many expected. Ali boxed in short bursts, using his jab and movement, but Spinks continued stepping forward and landing punches in clusters, refusing to let the fight settle into a slower rhythm. Through the middle rounds, the pattern held, with Ali landing clean shots at times, but Spinks maintaining activity. As the fight moved into the later rounds, Spinks kept pressing, throwing combinations and staying close enough to prevent Ali from controlling the distance for long stretches. Ali responded with occasional flurries, but the scoring remained tight as the final rounds approached. After 15 rounds, the judges delivered a split decision in favor of the challenger. Leon Spinks left the ring with the heavyweight championship, ending Ali's second reign. The rematch. Leon Spinks's win over Muhammad Ali created immediate demand for a second fight. Spinks had only 8 professional bouts by the time the rematch was arranged, and attention centered on whether Ali would adjust after losing the decision. Negotiations moved quickly, and the two met again later that year, with the championship once again at stake. From the opening rounds, the pace was more controlled than in their first meeting. Ali relied heavily on his jab, circling and keeping distance rather than engaging in extended exchanges. Spinks continued pressing forward, but the tempo favored Ali, who used movement and timing to limit Spinks's opportunities to throw combinations in clusters. Through the middle rounds, Ali kept the fight at a steadier rhythm, landing jabs and straight right hands while avoiding prolonged exchanges along the ropes. Spinks remained active, but his offense came in shorter bursts, and the difference in pacing became more noticeable as the rounds progressed. By the later rounds, Ali's jab and movement had built a consistent pattern, and he stayed disciplined, boxing rather than trading. Spinks attempted to close distance, but Ali's control of range prevented sustained attacks. The fight went the full 15 rounds, with both fighters finishing on their feet. When the decision was announced, it went unanimously to Ali, returning the championship to him and closing the brief interruption to his reign. Muhammad Ali regained the heavyweight title with the decision victory. A quiet close. After regaining the championship from Leon Spinks, Muhammad Ali entered the final phase of his career with fewer fights and longer gaps between them. By the time he returned to face Larry Holmes, he was 38 years old and coming out of retirement, as the division was beginning to shift toward a new generation. The next major defense came against Holmes, a former sparring partner who had built a reputation around a consistent jab and steady activity. Their history added interest to the matchup, since Holmes had spent years helping Ali prepare for fights earlier in his career. By this stage, Ali was already showing visible physical decline, with slowed reflexes and early signs of the neurological issues that would later be diagnosed as Parkinson's, adding a different weight to the bout. They met in October 1980 in Las Vegas, with Holmes approaching the fight as the younger, more active fighter. From the opening rounds, he relied on his jab to control distance, keeping Ali at the end of his punches while mixing in combinations. Ali tried to respond with movement and occasional counters, but the exchanges tended to reset quickly as Holmes returned to his rhythm. As the fight moved into the middle rounds, Holmes continued pressing forward, landing jabs and straight right hands while keeping the tempo steady. Ali answered in shorter bursts, but he struggled to build sustained offense, and Holmes's consistent output kept the momentum in his favor. The pace remained controlled rather than frantic, with Holmes dictating range and forcing Ali to react rather than initiate exchanges. By the later rounds, Holmes maintained the same approach, staying behind the jab and stepping in with combinations. Ali remained on his feet, but his offense came in brief moments rather than extended sequences. After the 10th round, the referee stopped the fight between rounds, ending the contest as Holmes stood ahead and Ali did not continue. Holmes walked back to his corner as heavyweight champion, closing the chapter that began when he had once worked in Ali's training camp. Thanks for watching. Check out the links in the description to shop for pro boxing gear.
Why